The Hangout on air is live. Imagine that. Imagine we have the technology tonight. Complete control. All right, I'm just getting a few things set up here.
So nobody's watching you right now, right? It says.
Yeah, it's not always 100% accurate, but
okay.
We'll open the QA here. So we'll see. Oh, look at that. And what have we got here? We have, where on social media will Wits End pop up next? Heard you on the ARRL audio news. Ah, yes. Yeah, I knew about that. All right. Somebody sees monkeys. Yes. And there's monkeys to be seen tonight. That is for sure. All right. Well, we're just getting the last few things set up here, folks, and then we'll get the audio recorder rolling and start an episode. But we're looking forward. So you can watch that.
Uh-oh.
Mrs. Land Monkey's enjoying the power of the Q&A on this side.
The power of it?
The power. That's right. So yeah, Wits End was on the ARRL audio news. He's the voice of the broadcast announcement. He shared that with us last week. No, it's not Wet Coaster. It's not exactly the same wardrobe as on an earlier show. There's a hat. So there you go. All right. And we are going to get rolling here in just one moment. So thanks, guys, for all you guys and girls for tuning in tonight. Hope you're going to have fun. Hopefully we'll have fun and not completely destroy the podcast. But, we're going to wreck it a little bit because we're monkeys.
That's what we do.
That's how we roll. All right. So I'm going to cue up the audio recorder. One flashy light. And we're recording.
Oh.
All right, you guys. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Caching in the Northwest, the only podcast dedicated to geocaching in the Great Pacific Northwest. We will talk about caches and cachers unique to this little corner of the country. So take a new cacher under your wing. It's time to go caching in the Northwest.
Yes, it is. And it's also time to bring in our... Oh, you're already here. Well, I guess you've noticed that there is no bad cop and no Wits End. But the land monkeys have taken over caching in the Northwest.
You know it, hun. Your regular hosts, Wits End and the Bad Cop, had another obligation tonight that involved something about the number 12 and some sort of aquatic raptor. But if we just put that aside for the moment, we can get past that. The show will go on. And Mrs. Land Monkey has joined me tonight. Thank you very much for joining me tonight in the Monkey Broadcast Studios. And we are definitely taking over. We want to say hello, listeners and viewers, and thank you all once again for joining us. Thank you for caching. We always appreciate that. But also thank you for joining us on Caching in the Northwest. And hey, if this is your very first time watching and or listening to Caching in the Northwest, thanks for checking us out. And this is not going to be a normal show. This is going to be a highly abnormal show.
You've got that right. Yes, welcome. And for you returning listeners, we love hearing from you. And we love hearing about your favorite caches and caching locations in the Northwest in your own voice. So each week on our podcast, we do try to play, I guess, a little tidbit with your recording of your voice on the website Oh, I am totally botching this. Back up. Okay, let me try again.
You're not going to be invited back.
I
so
know.
You know.
That's the point. Okay. Anyways, be sure to use the voicemail tool on the website to send us your favorite cache, and we will play it on the podcast soon. Your message just needs to be about 15 seconds. It's enough time to say your geocaching name, the GC code, and the name of the cache and why you liked it.
That's right. Well done. Thank you very much. And tonight we aren't going to play a favorite cache of one of you cachers, because what we do when we have a guest on the show is we blindside them. And since Mrs. Land Monkey is a guest on the show tonight, I'm going to blindside you. What's your favorite cache in the Northwest? What's your favorite cache you found in the last month?
That was a blindside. I don't have the GC code. I could try and start off as an example to say, I'm Mrs. Land Monkey of Team Land Monkey, and my favorite cache in the Northwest is GC code beep, 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 beep. Title name is a Lock and Lock in a Lock and Lock. It was found on the Helena. It looks like Helena. It's a girl's name.
It's going to be a long episode.
Okay.
This is more than 15 seconds.
Okay. Well, you interrupted. Now you made me lose my train of thought. Okay.
It's found on the Helena Geo Tour.
On the Geo Tour. And why was it my favorite? Just because of the struggle to get the darn thing open. And even though it was obnoxious, I really liked it. It's kind of almost like all those ones, you know, where you have to...
So it's kind of like me. Even though it's obnoxious, you really like it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess.
Thanks. All right. So if anybody wanted to see that cache, where could they see that cache in action?
That would be on our YouTube channel. That's about all I can say.
So if you check out YouTube and you go to YouTube and you search for Land Monkey, you will find that. And that is a recent episode. All right. That was fun. Hey, listeners, when 4 podcasts got together at the final block party, we came up with a harebrained idea. You may have heard about this. And this harebrained idea was for the 4 podcast contest, in which you can win some fabulous prizes. And we all love fabulous prizes. So make sure to listen to this week and last week's episodes of Podcacher, Land Monkey's Geocaching Adventures, that's us, Geo Gearheads, and this very show, Caching in the Northwest, to find out what iconic Fremont, Washington landmark each host found to be the most interesting. Title and email Fremont landmarks, and in the body of the email, write all 4 landmarks and who chose it. Address it to feedback@cachingnw.com and have it in by midnight Pacific time on September 6th, 2015. Now, I don't have the audio queued up this week, which was Sunny and Sandy were sharing on our show last week what theirs was. So while I don't have the audio to play this week, I'll be really generous and I'll tell you, think rocket ship. That's all I'm going to tell you.
That's not what that says.
It's close enough. All right. Anything else? Hey, you know what? Let's just jump over to the Q&A here for a minute.
Okay.
We've got Wet Coaster asking a very pertinent question. Do you want to share his question?
Well, yeah. Wet Coaster says, without the American hosts, isn't it caching in the Southwest? And I'm thinking...
I think we have this discussion often on the show. And
isn't it North?
Well... He's implying that this is a British Columbia only podcast tonight. So it is the Southwest of British Columbia. That's what he's getting at.
Oh. See, I just think of the U.S. being south, so I would think of them being...
And the Southwest of the U.S. is, not here. Okay.
See, women and men, we think differently.
Yeah. All right.
Thank goodness for that. Hey?
And we have a message in the Q&A from Bri Lang.
Thank you.
And it is a happy birthday, Mrs. Land Monkey, because today is Mrs. Land Monkey's birthday.
Aww.
She got another year younger.
Yay.
All right. Thank you, Brylang. That
Thank
was very
you.
nice. All right. So that's a lot of contests, eh?
It is a lot of contests. So why don't we get on with the topic tonight?
Ooh, yeah, we have a topic tonight. Imagine that.
We have a topic.
So you are right. This week, we asked all of you good listeners and social media followers to help us educate new geocachers. We said, tell us what you wish you knew when you first started geocaching, when you first started getting out there and geocaching. What is it that you wish you knew? What do you wish somebody had told you? And another way of looking at it is, what do you wish that a brand new geocacher knew before they went and found one of your caches? That's kind of maybe the meaner way of phrasing it. So since there's no bad cop tonight, I'll be bad cop. Who will you be?
Oh,
Wits End or Land Monkey? What do you? What's worse?
That's a tough choice.
Okay.
I can't beat Wits End. I don't have it.
Yeah. Well, we didn't have time to get the mustaches on. We'll have to talk to Dora more about that.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, so those are the questions. And we did ask you guys on social media for some feedback on that. And we got some great answers. I thought there were some really interesting answers. Mrs. Land Monkey, do you want to maybe tackle the first two that we got back?
First two? Okay. Yeah. The first one is from a cacher called Monalot.
Blame Monalot.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Hashtag blame Monalot.
They said, enjoy it. Don't get bogged down with numbers. What is that? Hashtag it should be fun.
There you go.
It should be fun.
Yeah.
I think I've said that before. When it stops being fun, then you're not doing it right.
If it stops being fun, you're done.
Well, no, I'm just thinking, I agree with that. When you are totally about the numbers and it's rush, you're taking the fun, well, the nice part of the fun out of it, and then it stops being fun. So
the nice part of the fun?
The nice part of the fun.
What's the bad part of the fun?
I don't know. I didn't think that went through.
That's for a different podcast. All right.
But we also had another
geocacher?
Entry. I was going to say not another entry, a comment from Rough Draft, who says, sometimes it can be tremendously helpful to stop, think, and then keep looking for the cache. I would agree with that. That
is good advice. Yeah. So maybe time to pause just for a moment and share with you guys a reminder of what we were going to do with this feedback. So not only were we going to share this feedback and discuss it and give our opinions on the podcast, which is, wonderful, but what we also thought would be kind of cool to do is we're going to take these key points that you guys are sharing with us and put them all together in a small PDF that you can download and print off and hand to new cachers or place in geocaches for new cachers. So it's kind of like a neat little piece of advice that you can pass on to somebody when they find their first or second or 10th geocache, and they can just find this helpful little bit of advice that's, you always have the rules of the geocaching and congratulations, you found a geocache and here's what it is and here's how you log it, which is fine. But what we felt that's kind of missing sometimes is more of the helpful advice to help people keep going.
Did you ever tell our first story of trying to hide a geocache as new geocachers?
I don't think so. Why don't you tell the story? Unless it embarrasses me, then don't tell the story.
It embarrasses us to no end, but I think I can stand a little ripping. Just for a little while. Don't poke the monkey too much. When we first started to cache, I don't know, what are we up to now? 3 years?
Yeah, it was in 2012.
3 years ago. And we actually had not come across geocaching.com. I think the first time we ever tried looking for a cache, we had found it's the garment site.
Opencaching.com.
On Vancouver Island when we were on our holidays. And they did not have a lot of caches on their site, not like geocaching.com does. And I can still remember our first experience trying to find the first one. And I think any experienced cacher out there would laugh if you saw us circling this stump. I don't know how many times.
It's got to be here somewhere.
It's got to be here. And it was just sitting on the top of the stump. But it took us a long time to find it. But that's not the story.
What a bunch of noobs.
So we got back and, oh, this is so cool. We need to hide one, which is how all new geocachers are. And of course, once you've been out there for a while, you wonder, well, you wish that you'd been told a few things before trying to hide one. But yes, we went out, took our coordinates, and hid this cache in this great place.
We found the perfect spot.
Perfect spot. And by this time, we had finally kind of been put onto the geocaching.com. We had gotten registered, hadn't really looked to see what was on the map, but we opened up the thing and created one. We sent it, and they responded back, yeah, you can't put it there because it's like 6 meters away from an existing one. Meters. Yeah. Which literally should have been about 1 meter.
Yeah, as it turns out, it actually wasn't 6 meters away. It was 6 centimeters away.
Our friends who lived on the island who said that they would look after it for us. We came back, I think, what was it, in the fall or something, to check up on it because, of course, we had placed it before we had gone home. We came back to pick up the cache that we had hid. And, yeah, we found 2 caches in that spot. The one we put there, right on top of the one that was already hid there.
And so did a few other people found 2 caches.
Going, I found 2 caches.
So yeah, we messed a whole bunch of people up.
So egg on our face. But we learned it needed to be 160 meters away. And
yeah, you know what I think that maybe we learned, and that somebody could have told us if we had known another geocacher at that time, is don't be in a rush to place your first geocache. Yeah. And I think that's not bad advice.
Since that's what we're talking about, yep, kind of in a way.
It is kind of in a way. Hey, we've got a bunch of stuff in the Q&A.
Oh, okay.
So first of all, a few more birthday messages for you.
Am I legal now?
Yeah, White Coaster says, yes, congrats on your 28th.
Oh, thank you.
And Three Hams in a Rose is asking if you're legal. I hope she's been legal for about 20 years because otherwise I've got a big problem. So yeah, there we go. White Coaster actually shared a good piece of advice here. And I thought, hey, you know what? That's kind of cool. And let's riff on that one for a few moments. But it's, he says that he wishes he knew another geocacher when he first started. And yeah, I mean, that's a huge thing. Getting, whether you want to call it a geo mentor or just a geo buddy or somebody to take you out and show you the ropes a little bit, for sure. And, that's one of the reasons why we have geocaching events, including the one that's coming up in Richmond, not this long weekend, but the next weekend. There's an event in Richmond at the Richmond Nature Center.
To be the BCGA.
Yeah, the BCGA is putting it on.
Putting that one on. I have to think about that.
Yeah. So stuff like that, really cool. And the GC code for the lock and lock.
Oh, I can try again. Hi, I'm Mrs. Land Monkey of Team Land Monkey, and my favorite cache in the North. Oh, man, I gotta try again.
Try again.
Good. My favorite cache in caching in the Northwest is, I can't even read that. GC code GC3N3NG for the lock and lock cache, but that's what it says for the lock and lock cache.
You're just reading verbatim what he put in there.
I know. That's why I don't normally do the show.
Thanks very much for giving us the GC
Thank you.
code. Appreciate that.
That was one of my favorites.
That was a very cool cache. Yeah. So if you ever do that Helena Geo Tour or Helene, what did you say?
No, it's Helena.
Helena Geo Tour.
Makes it sound more
romantic.
Okay. Sure.
All right.
Okay.
So yeah, it's some great feedback, you guys, and we are going to take all this feedback and we're going to put it into a few cool little bullet points and share it out with you guys soon. So stay tuned for that in the next week or so. But we also heard from Brylang.
Yep.
And in fact, we heard from 3 different people on the same or a similar, not the same, but a similar vein. And I think it really makes the point that this is something we really wish people knew when they started geocaching. First of all, from Brylang, who shared on Twitter, I would encourage good logs. TFTC has its place for park and grabs, but creative caches should get longer logs. Totally agree. Lazy Bones came with a similar topic, came with a similar statement, said, write a detailed and descriptive log, not only for the CO, but down the road, it helps one relive the memory of that cache. It's also very good. And do you want to share what Retro had to say?
Yeah, he kind of followed along the same lines there, and he said how to log a cache properly instead of a TFTC, but maybe a description of their experience, or at least a status on the cache condition.
Yeah, there's a similar theme there from all 3, but it's about the logging. And Brylang makes a good point that, honestly, there's some caches where all they kind of, TFTC is probably enough. But I also like what Retro said, that, hey, even if your experience wasn't remarkable, just at least make a comment about the condition of the cache. Log is almost full. Cache was dry. I mean, stuff like that. It's really good for the CO to know. It's helpful. And that's Lazy Bones was making a point there. It's along the same lines. Not only does it help the CO, but down the road, it can help you relive the memory of that cache. If you go back and look at your logs, it can also help other people who are maybe new to the game and don't know to go look at the logs. Once they do learn that and they're looking at the logs, if they're having trouble with a cache, I mean, that's one of the things we always do.
Yeah, we scroll through and of course we snoop through. Come on, somebody give a good hint on where to find this thing.
Yeah, where's a Droid Seeker's log?
Yeah, we've been told he sometimes drops a hint in some of his caches, some of his logs. And sometimes I read it going, is there one there, or am I just trying to make one up? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate the information that he does put in, because there have been a few caches that we've come to that we definitely would not have found without his help in his descriptive log.
There you go.
So thank you, Ted. Oh, a Droid Seeker. Sorry.
Wow.
I said it.
You can't do that on the podcast.
Okay.
Stop it.
Okay.
All right. We also heard from Dora Moore. Do you want to share that one?
Sure. She says, you don't often have to bushwhack. Keep following the trail and you may find that it turns back or branches off in the right direction a little further on. Please try not to trample the plants, break branches, and pull apart stumps. Yeah, no. We want to leave things kind of intact the way it was when we first got there.
What's the expression? It's the backpacker's creed or something like that. It's take only pictures and leave only footprints or something.
Well,
no.
You don't even want to leave the footprints.
Good point. But
I think that is what.
Something like that.
Oh, well, somebody will remember and type it to us, right?
Yeah, that's why we love the Q&A. We love you guys. All right. One of the comments that I had made, one of my pet peeves, and we've touched on this a little bit when we talked about reading the logs, is read the cache description. Often it can have useful directions for finding the cache. It can have information about the area or the container, or it can have instructions specified for logging, such as on challenge caches. I have a challenge cache that frequently gets found by new cachers because of its location. And I hate deleting logs for new cachers.
Yeah.
I really don't like doing that, but they're not reading the description, which says what the requirements are for the challenge cache, and they clearly don't meet them.
And you can tell that they're new because at least at this point, from us getting the email and looking at their profile, that their number is low. And
so technically they would qualify for, it's the GeoMentors challenge cache, and technically they'd qualify for it if they went with somebody with more than 1,000 finds, which is the point of that GeoMentors challenge. Yeah. But they're not reading it, and they're just grabbing it, and I get it like a TFTC.
Yes, but I think at that point they're excited, as we all are, at least the ones like us who have gotten the bug and like getting out there and finding them, that it's, oh, there's one over here. Oh, there's one over here. And you don't read the cache description page. And
go directly to jail. Do not pass go.
I was going to comment on this, that I thought it was intriguing. I was thinking about it the other day, that I thought some people are very smart with putting their cache hints in the cache description rather than just having it as the hints, because it then forces you to read the cache page. Okay,
I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Is that very smart? If you know that new cachers don't read the descriptions, is it smart to put the hint in the description, or are you just running the risk?
Do you think that they should find it?
Then they don't deserve to find it. Yeah.
I'm playing devil's advocate.
Ooh, you're playing devil's advocate to my devil's advocate. Inception.
I don't know. I was just thinking about that the other day, because I thought, how many times have I looked at the hint, and there isn't a whole lot there. And then you go back and read the cache description page on there and go, oh, it says it's, and I'm thinking, oh, well, if I had just read that, we could have cut down our searching time, by 10 minutes or something if I had looked at that before. So,
yeah. No, good point. All right. I'll buy that.
Okay.
All right. Hey, we're back looking in the Q&A here. You guys are awesome helping us out. I have take nothing but pictures, leave nothing but footprints, kill nothing but time. I love it. That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. See, I knew somebody would.
Oh, yeah. These guys are smart. All of them. All right. What else have we got? We have, here, do you want to read this one? It's pronounced die monkey.
Oh. That doesn't sound very nice. Die monkey.
Really?
Okay.
Come on.
Die monkey just chimed in. Just because you can't find it, you don't need to post a needs maintenance, or even worse, a needs archive. I so totally agree with that. My sister would be going, yes, yes.
Yeah, she's got a couple of cache. Oh no, just one cache.
Just one.
That new cachers can't find and keeps doing needs maintenance and needs archived.
And it's right outside her house, and
really
she walks out and goes, it's right there. And I know that there was another one of her caches that she didn't get up to in time, but a few people, because they couldn't find it, put needs archived, and they archived it, and she went up there and it's right there. So I get that. I think although
you can't blame the reviewers.
No, I can't blame the reviewer, but I'm just saying, I know that when you are a new cacher, and this is, so I totally agree with that.
I think that needs archive should be disabled until you've found 100 caches.
Because I know that when you are new, you don't know what you're looking for. And so you figure if you can't find it, that it's not there. And even when we went out with other people and they couldn't find it, they went, oh, it's gone. It's gone. And we're like, no, it's not. And sure enough, it's there. So I totally agree with Die Monkey on that one.
Yeah, no, that's
like, it's just, yeah.
That's good advice as well. I need to make sure we don't forget about that.
I would say, if anything, if you can't find it, post you didn't find it. Send an email. Or
send an email
message to the
or
CO,
use the instant messaging.
Messaging, although I know not everybody likes that, but to try and get a hint, or you can ask a previous finder on it. Say, hey, I'm new.
Yeah, but most COs want you to find their cache.
Yes,
so if you
do.
say, hey, I'm new, I blah, 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 I can't find your cache.
Is that what they say? Blah, blah,
yeah,
blah,
that's
blah?
most of the messages I get, say blah, 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 blah.
Oh, okay.
And most COs are going to help you out. They're going to say, oh, try looking for a fake rock. And new caches are fake rock. I never heard of fake rock, blah, 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 blah. And then they'll go find it.
Nice.
All right. Hey, Wet Coaster, heading back to an earlier comment that we were talking about, and this is really talking about the whole concept of getting a mentor and having somebody help you out. He said, I signed up with geocaching.com on the 31st of March, 2007. My first find was on the 21st of April, 2012. Wow. Really could have
Wow.
used somebody to help me get going. No kidding.
Did
So,
did it take you 5 years to find that cache? It must have been a 5.5.
oh,
Sorry.
oh,
Sorry, Wet Coaster.
this will be
Had to.
interesting at the next event.
Okay. I'll make you show up.
Yeah. Anyways,
Okay.
no,
that was me.
that was mean.
Okay.
I thought I was supposed to be the bad cop tonight.
Ah.
All right. Anyways, no, I get what you're saying. Like if you're kind of interested and somebody's pointed you to it and you go and check it out, but then you check out the site, but then you try going and looking, and particularly if you're in Surrey, I know there's a lot of mystery caches in Surrey. And if you don't know, if no one's told you or explained it to you, and you're going and looking at the coordinates where this blue question mark is and you can't find anything, you're like, this sucks.
Mind you, it took us a while to figure out how the whole software and everything worked with our GPS when we first got it. So
yeah, it takes time.
Yeah.
But again, back to Wet Coaster's point that having a mentor or a geo buddy, whatever you want to call it, is important. It really
show you
can
the
help.
ropes.
Yeah, show you the ropes. We shortly after we started, Mrs. Land Monkey already told you the story about our first couple of experiences. But as soon as we got home from Vancouver Island, and we thought, oh, look at all, we were looking at the map, look at all the caches around us, but we were still struggling with it a little bit. So I emailed the CO of one of the caches that we were looking for, and he got back to us right away. In fact, he phoned us. He was at a Canadians baseball game and took the time to actually phone us from the baseball game and sort of talk us through, okay, here's what you do, here's how you look things up, and here's how you use this, and here's how you use that. And this is the kind of thing that you're looking for when you get to ground zero. It was super, super helpful. That was Phil at Sea.
Yes, it was.
So he was our first geo mentor, and we really appreciated that. It made a huge difference in helping us just sort of get our feet underneath us and start moving forward. So yeah, that was awesome. All right. What else have we got here? We got a couple in the Q&A from, you want to read this?
Well, oh my goodness.
It's 3 hams and a rose.
Where does it say that?
It's you have to know that.
Okay.
It doesn't say that.
Sorry, 3 hams and a rose. I didn't recognize the name there. Anyways.
I'm a little embarrassed.
Shh. It's small print. I know my eyes aren't that bad, but turn it anyways.
Can you read the question?
One of my caches had an NM dropped on it. I walked down the road to check it out. My goodness, but it was under 3 inches of leaves. No wonder.
Was that the sigh?
That was the sigh.
That was very good.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, 3 inches of leaves. Well,
but
you know
that's
what?
also.
But if you see leaves on, well, again, I think this goes back to having a mentor, having somebody to explain to you. While the rules technically say you can't bury it,
you can't help it when nature buries it. I mean, we've come across a few that.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm not implying that 3 hams and a rose was guilty of that one. I'm saying that's where if you had a mentor with you, they could say, well, you can move the leaves. Yeah. But what else we got here? 3 hams and a rose also shared McWillie's older powered. Oh, okay. So we're talking about this hints in the hints in the hints or hints in the description. McWillie's older power trails have the hints in the description, which he absolutely yes. But his newer trails have the hints in the hints section. I guess it makes a difference. So 3 hams and a rose is trying to support you.
Well, yeah, I just do both. Cover your bases and make sure you read both, because you never know
what the description.
Well, no, so you could have 2 hints. There might be 2 different types of hints.
There's definitely.
I know there's some people who don't like to read the hints at all. They like to try and find it first without reading the hints, and then if you need help.
I like doing that sometimes, depending on how energetic I'm feeling at the time.
Yeah. Now see that I know who that is.
Okay, so why don't you read that one?
So Wet Coaster says, I would search for a puzzle cache, couldn't find it. Try again many months later, repeat, got stuck in the loop for a while.
Yeah, totally get that. I can totally see how that was the case. Yeah, that's super easy to do, because if you're a noob, you don't know that those blue question marks actually mean something different.
Well, especially because, some are at the coordinates, some aren't at the coordinates. And again, if you don't read the cache
description
page, it does tell you it's not at these coordinates. So you do need to read it. And I think
So you would agree, read the description?
Read the description.
I mean, sometimes the descriptions are really short and aren't very helpful at all. But sometimes they are. Sometimes they're really long and they're a story. But you know what? Just read them anyways.
Yeah.
Or else. All right. Anyways, you know what, guys? That just about wraps up the show. I can't believe what?
No.
Did I forget something?
No, but I think it would be important because we said we were discussing what new cachers should know.
Yeah.
Well, I think that they should personally know about the different types of caches.
They should know that there are different types of caches.
Well, so not even just the different types, but
that the different symbols on the map.
Well, even what
things.
Names are. When I was discussing earlier, when we first were reading, and we actually read the cache description page. Thank you. There were some that would say, oh, you're looking for a preform or a bison tube.
Right.
Well, you know, if you've never cached and nobody has ever shown you anything, that means nothing to you.
I had no idea what a preform was for a really long time.
So, or a bison tube, I'm thinking, what's a bison? Like, I'm thinking an animal
when we
tube.
When we were finding that series by J&J Brown when we were new cachers, and they were like, when they're called all like puns about bison. And we weren't getting the puns.
We
okay.
didn't get it. And even the little teeny weeny nanos. There was one in Langley that basically told you this is where it is. It's on this post. It's eye level. And I'm going down there. We're looking and we're looking.
4 visits before we found that one?
Yes, because we're looking for a big, and I'm thinking, okay, it's a chain link fence. How can you hide a cache that it just even small? I had no idea it was this little teeny thing. And we'd come home and we'd watch it and someone else, easy find, found. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, right. No way. Until we finally found one of these little tiny nano things. And I went,
magnetic nano. Yeah.
I bet you I know what's down at that other place. And sure enough, we finally go down. Yep, there it is. There's the post, eye level. I wish I had known that because the amount of times we spent looking for that thing was crazy.
Yeah.
But so for you out there, there's the magnetic nanos. There you're like the size of your little pinky. A preform looks like a test tube, but sometimes people paint them so they're not as clear, but has like the little bottle cap on the top. Bison tubes, what do you think they would look like? They almost look like
I'm sorry.
Bless you.
I'm allergic to bison tubes, especially the ones in cedar hedges. How would you explain a bison tube? It's a small, about this, usually the size of your pinky finger, aluminum tube. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know, but I just was thinking that, for things that you wish they knew, that might be something helpful for them to know, because
different cache types and different cache types of containers,
and maybe other lingo.
Right.
Like, I'm thinking.
Well, this is going to start to be a really long sheet, but
let's do the other side. Like when you see a tot, when we're going, what's a tot? What's a tot?
It's a little kid. I have to bring a little kid to go find this geocache.
Nothing like being on Google trying to type this in, and I'm thinking, well, I don't know what that.
Yeah, and sometimes when you type in acronyms on Google, it's not geocaching stuff that comes up.
Oh, okay. But I'm just saying there should be something helpful for the acronyms that come up, because once you've been out there for a while, you get it all. But at the beginning, it's no wonder why it takes us so long when we first get started on this. But anyways.
Hey, so what does Dora Moore say?
Oh, she says, sometimes experienced cachers can't find their own caches when nature buries them. That's how number 9 ended up being held for ransom. The finders found 2 caches in the same spot and wanted to return the original. That's save. Oh, sorry, I didn't. Oh, I left out the best part. Hashtag save number 9.
So anybody who isn't familiar with that, on Facebook, just Facebook or Twitter, just put in hashtag save number 9 and see what you get back. But yeah, that's some local geocachers have been having fun tormenting a CO. It's actually pretty good if you follow the whole thing. But yeah, valid point. Sometimes stuff disappears. What else have we got here? We have don't be buffaloed by all the bison puns. Yeah, absolutely. Good one. I like that. That was funny. And still talking about the cache page here. Not necessarily even that they need to read the cache page, but learning what everything in the header of the page means. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Good point. Knowing how to read that info. Now, again, I think the other thing to keep in mind is a lot of new cachers are caching on the geocaching.com intro app on their iPhone or their Android phone. And so they're not actually looking at a cache page. So there's probably a lot of that information that I can't remember how it's displayed on the app, but it's not quite the same level of detail that you're going to get. But the description's still there, so there's still no excuse for not reading that.
Well, I think, yeah, but even on a GPS, you don't see everything either. Like when you think of the attributes, I don't.
Yeah, but most noobs aren't using GPSs these days.
Okay,
they're all using smartphones, right? Yeah. So there's no excuse.
And 3 hams in a rose. He says yes, but Mijo can still first to find a cache that even the CO can no longer find.
There you go. I'm just leaving that one. I have no further feedback on that one.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. Hey, we've had lots of activity in the Q&A tonight. You guys are awesome. Thanks a lot. That's been a lot of fun. I think we're going to wrap it up. I think we've definitely done a full show here. Thank you very much. You've been so much fun to have on the show.
Thank you.
You may even get invited back. I don't know. We'll see what the bad cop says.
No, I think what Coaster's going to be shaking his finger at me after that last comment I made about him.
Yeah, you're not very nice. All right. Well.
Okay.
What do you figure here? I've got something for you to say. Why don't you read that?
Okay. Well, before we go, assuming someone listening wanted to connect with us online, where would they go to find everyone on the interwebs?
Well, one of the places definitely they can go is to find us, Land Monkeys. If you go to the website, landmonkey.blogspot.ca, you'll find us. If you look on Twitter or Instagram at LandMonkeyGC, on Facebook, it's Team Land Monkey, and on YouTube, just search Land Monkey. And now, every once in a while, when my data plan allows us, you can watch for us on Periscope. That's what I did when we were out caching with Donners the other day.
Oh, yes. Okay. And you can find Caching in the Northwest on Twitter at CachingNW, Facebook.com, CachingNW, Google+, Google.com/+ CachingNW. And
so that's for the bad cop to find him.
Sorry, that was okay. Find Wits End as Wits End on Twitter, Facebook.com, geocaching.com.
You can
Noah,
say it.
Ello? Oh, okay.
It's not a typo.
Ello.
It's an Ello.
But Google is google.com /+ Wits End US.
There you go.
Are you supposed to pronounce that as a plus?
Yep.
Okay.
That works.
Okay.
All right. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to listen. And for those who've been live in the QA, you guys have been awesome to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Remember that you can be a part of the show. Call 253-693-TFTC and leave us a comment, ask a question, carry us up a mountain. Well, that's what we said last week. Cache with us any time of the day or night. And of course, you can email us at feedback@cachingnw.com. And also, your support helps to keep quality shows coming. If you liked this show, we don't know why, but that's great. Please click the PayPal button on the cachingnw.com website. And this show is licensed under Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Copyright 2015 by Chris Umfenauer. All right. And that's it. We have recorded the podcast. So
I could be the bad monkey. Thanks.
Brian Lang says you're the bad monkey.
I could be the bad monkey.
Oh, you have no idea, Brian Lang. You really have no idea just how right you are. All right. We did miss some feedback from Dora Moore, but we'll share it here in the after show, as we call this. Why don't you read that?
Oh, she just says it's really important to understand the DT ratings. If it's a 4.5, look way up in the tree. Maybe bring a tall person with you to hike it.
And if in the description Mr. Land Monkey writes it's at head height, it probably means it's above my own head height. Go ahead.
Dora Moore says, well done, Mrs. Land Monkey. Aren't you glad they didn't blindside you with puppets? Well, yeah.
I don't know what she's talking about.
I still got blindsided getting roped into doing 2 shows today.
On your birthday.
Yeah.
It's birthday. I'm a monkey.
It was interesting.
It was. You know what? You are such a good sport. I have to make sure I tell everybody what an amazing good sport you are, because we were earlier this evening, we were on Geo Gearheads, Gerald W. Forrest podcast. He had asked quite a while ago, if we would be on the podcast. And I knew it was Mrs. Land Monkey's birthday, the way the show lined up. And I said, oh, it's Mrs. Land Monkey's birthday, but maybe we can talk her into it. Let's just try for a couple of months and see if we'll talk her into it. And then earlier this week, my awesome co-hosts got tickets to go see the Seahawks play tonight, which is super cool. And I would not deny them that opportunity in any way, and I hope they had an awesome time. But then that meant, I need a co-host. So I asked around for a few folks, and while people were interested in trying to help, just life was not helpful for them, and it was pretty short notice too. So I really appreciate everybody who was willing to try and help. And so in the end, I said, I know it's your birthday, but could ya? And she did. Isn't she awesome? She's the best.
Yeah.
All right. And 3 Hams in a Row says, congrats. Is that congrats because we were on 2 podcasts?
I don't know.
Congrats because we don't have a life and we just sat in this room all night.
Congratulations. You made people actually sit and listen to you for half an hour.
I know. I feel guilty. Here, you like that one?
Yeah. He does really owe me big time. But
hey,
it's Mr. Land Monkey's birthday next week, and he said, I promise we can do whatever you want on my birthday. So
there you go.
I'll definitely take him up on that.
There you go. Awesome. And the kids will be back from camp next week, so we can.
Yeah.
What was that? Wow.
Oh, come on. It's kind of nice having some time to ourselves. Anyways.
All right. And yeah, and 3 Hams in a Row is added on to Dora Moore's. If it's a 4.5, look way up the tree at the top of the cliff. That's funny. Yeah. Yes. And the dinner will be more than the usual bowl of monkey chow. Hey, monkey chow is not bad. I have to say, thank you. A very sincere thank you to the mysterious donor who dropped off some monkey chow at the block party for us. We shared that afterwards. That was the chocolate covered the little bag with that was yummy.
Well, yes, it was.
It's like
yummy.
Sweet and savory together.
Yes.
That was really cool. So thank you.
Well, thank you to everybody who listened and put in comments tonight, because
it was going to be a really short show.
It was going to be a short show. I'm thinking, boy, that's our notes. It's really short. We're going to be talking for 5 minutes and be over. So it's very helpful that we had some feedback from the listeners as well. So thank you very much.
There you go.
There.
Awesome. Well, I think that's the after show for tonight. I don't know if there's like a pause in the activity on the Q&A. I don't know if there's anything else we want to talk about tonight for you guys. If you're still hanging in there, it's we'll try and stretch it out till 10 if we can think of anything else that we want to talk about. I don't know. What are we doing this weekend? It's a long weekend. We're not going to Gold Country. You will not see us at the Gold Country event.
We wanted to, but
we have to pick up our kids on Sunday from the ferry, so we can't make it up there.
We gotta stick around town.
Next weekend is the event in Richmond.
Yes.
Which I can't remember the GC code for, so I'll have to look that up and put it on social media. Although I think it's been all over social media because they're looking for volunteers. So if you want to volunteer to help out at next weekend's event, which I think is sort of all tailored around really what we've been talking about tonight.
Newbies.
About helping noobs learn how to geocache properly. So if you want to help at that event, or you just want to show up and be there to smack some noobs, I'm sure they'd love to have you there.
I'll put a sign on you that says noob, and they can all smack you.
Don't smack the monkey. Yeah, that didn't sound right.
That did sound right.
Okay. So yeah, I think that would be, we may or may not pop in at that event. I'm not sure exactly. That's pretty far out.
I don't know.
We've had a busy summer. We really have. We're kind of Brian, like, yeah, you know what? Bad Cop isn't here, so that's not going to stop the podcast tonight. The podcast stops when we decide we're done and we kill it. That's funny though.
Didn't we already kill it? We knocked this out of the ballpark.
Oh yeah, we murdered it. All right. Night, 3 hams in a row. You have a good night, buddy. Are we going to be at that one? I have something to give you. That's from Dormo. Smack. It's a smack. Yeah. Great. I'm really encouraged to go to events now. After Mrs. Land Monkey has been insulting everybody and offering free punches on Mr. Land Monkey. We're not sure if we're going to be at that one. We probably are. We're probably thinking we'll pop in just for a little bit at the beginning. And then we've got a few geocaches in the Richmond area we want to pick up. Plus, my new office is not far from there, and so I want to show Mrs. Land Monkey where it is. But anyways, so that's the plan. That's life. That's what's going on with us. Terribly exciting.
Oh yeah.
No more big road trips. Actually, that's not true. There might be one more last kick at the can, but we'll tell you guys about that later. Yeah. Well, that's been fun. You know who we need to get on this show?
No.
We need to get Dora Moore back on this show. Because she's so much fun with puppets. But
does she have to have a puppet to get on the show?
I don't know. May have to look into that. But I really want to hear about and to share with everybody else about her epic road trips. Epic. Oh, yeah. That's more than a road trip. It's a flight trip to Iceland to go earth caching in Iceland. I mean, that is so cool.
Do you call it a road trip, or would you call it an ice trip?
Well, if it's on ice, it's a slip, not a trip.
Oh.
I don't know. We'll have to ask Dora Moore. What did you call it? I would call it an epic earth caching adventure. But yes. I think we should have, I don't know. What do you think? Should we have Dora Moore come back on the show? Talk about her trip?
You're asking me?
I'm asking you.
Well, sure.
Okay, let's do it.
Just tell Wits End and Bad Cop, this is what we're doing.
Wow. Assertive. All right. That'd be cool. I think that would be cool. I think people would like to hear about that. I think that was pretty awesome. I wonder, I don't know if I'd be able to do that. It would be really cool if I could get Dora Moore and Matt GeoAware on the show at the same time, but I don't know if we'd be able to do that.
Okay.
That would be super cool. Anyways, it was a venture. There you go. I think they call it Geo Ventures or something like that. Yeah. Cool. So that's what it is. All right. Well, Dora Moore, we'll talk, because I think I'd love to have you come on the show and share about that. I think that'd be really cool. Okay. Well, I think it's close enough to 10. I think we've exhausted all of our topics. We've talked about our life, our children,
Yeah, things that they don't really care about.
our pathetic existence in this little room downstairs in our house. Okay, let's go enjoy the rest of your birthday.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching tonight. It has been so much fun hanging out with all of you guys on the air.
Have a great long weekend.
Yeah, have an awesome long weekend if we don't
I
see
don't
you.
know about the southwest, north,
Wherever you are.
wherever you are.
Have an awesome long weekend. Fantastic. All right. We're stopping the broadcast. Adios. Cheers. Hasta la vista. Guten Nacht.